Thank you, Philip, for such an insightful presentation. I enjoyed every bit of it, and you have given me the foundation I need to start to discussing building sustainable AI in journalism. So, for one, I do not have lengthy slides because sustainability is a focal matter that keeps shifting with every era. Now we're in the era of AI. We're going into the era of agentic AI. And as we're looking at African journalism and trying to merge it with AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, we have to make sure that the longevity of AI is ensured, and we can ensure that longevity. We can ensure that AI keeps on growing and moving and can be sustained. AI is not a trap for everyone or for anybody. So I'm beginning with the definition of sustainability. Here, I have noted that sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own need. Now we're talking about development that can stand the test of time, both serving our needs now and serving future needs. Now, AI, surprisingly to so many people, has and is standing the test of time. It is meeting our needs. And now the worry is how it will not eradicate us. I believe we have to shift away from the worry of eradication to the worry of sustainability. That rather than focusing on how AI is going to take up our jobs and take up everything concerned with, we have to look at how we can make sure that the human in AI is integrated. We retain the human touch, we retain the human contact, the human element, and make sure that as it serves our needs, it does not eradicate us or our jobs, but rather it helps our future generations to meet their own needs. Now, we're talking about sustainability. My focus here is on the Sustainable Development Goal 9, which is for industry, innovation, and infrastructure. When we're looking at artificial intelligence in this regard, we're looking at innovation. And we have seen that artificial intelligence fosters innovation in sustainable industrial practices and resilient infrastructure. We are also seeing that AI accelerates research of green technology. So we're seeing AI in multifaceted industries, multifaceted platforms. We're seeing that AI is doing so much. It's helping our lives. It's birthing innovation. So now what we have to see is not worry about AI eradicating our jobs or making us obsolete. We have to make sure that AI is useful for us. It is useful for our future generations, and we have to build a strategy. Now, in this regard, we have to think of a coherent strategy for how we want AI's potential to be used in service of our vision for a sustainable journalism that adds value to people's lives. We're going to look at journalism and AI from a point of value, not from a point of, oh, AI is coming to take my job, the risk of false news and the likes. I'm pretty sure that other speakers, they have spoken about it and will continue to speak about it. We're going to shift our focus from that for a bit. We're going to look at how we can make this AI that is everywhere and has so many risks. We're going to look at how to make it sustainable for us. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So now we're going to look at a coherent strategy for how we want AI's potential to be used in service of our vision for a sustainable journalism that adds value to people's lives. We're moving from journalism that does every other thing to journalism that is adding value to everyone's life. Now, journalism has to get used that whether we like it or not, at this moment, AI is meeting the value or rather the needs of users. So everyone has to see that. Everyone we have to be cognizant of that fact and roll with it. People have said, my research has shown that people say that journalism is currently in trouble because they're not meeting users' needs. Everyone is coming and saying, I'm the best. AI is telling me I'm the best, this, that, those. Dinah has mentioned it, Philip has also mentioned it. So now we're moving on for that, and then we're going to move on from obsessing about efficiency and productivity. We're going to now look at efficiency and productivity through AI, and that's what we're going to consider. So in considering this, we're going to look at agentic AI. Now, agentic AI refers to predictive AI, predictive technology, predictive. We have moved from the technology that is just garbage in, garbage out to technology that can predict what we're going to do tomorrow and predict how we're going to do what we're going to do tomorrow. So now in agentic AI, we're going to talk about sustainability. We're looking at how we're going to tweak the dynamism of journalism to fit into the new world. In tweaking this, we're looking at employing, as I mentioned, SDG 9, making sure that innovation is safe. When we're reporting about innovation, we're reporting that it is safe, it is fit for us and fit for the future. When we're using agentic AI right now in journalism, we are going to use it for things like fact checking. Fact checking with agentic AI, we can make sure that we are getting the right information across. I had mentioned earlier that we will not be eliminating the human in human integration or human in intelligence simply because we're using AI in journalism. Rather, what we'll be doing is that we'll be making a coherence between the two. As AI is cross-checking facts, you as journalists, we have to make sure that even the facts we're feeding into AI, they are not forged or factitious. They are real, for lack of a better term, that they are real. Because the thing about agentic AI is that it starts by an input. What you input into agentic AI, it will then, by its programming, develop on it and use what you input to predict what may come or to get your style, your reader's style, and predict also. So using agentic AI will reduce the spread of misinformation and help us as journalists maintain credibility, and also helps us to save time because you can only look through so many information, so many documents. So it helps us save time also. And another thing that agentic AI will help us do is resource optimization. So while we're going through resource optimization, we're seeing that agentic AI is helping us making sure that we're not spending too much time on unnecessary things. We're not spending too much time on unnecessary things. We're looking at the things that matter and we're making sure that these things that matter are being used for us and are being used for our readers, optimizing their information for them and helping them know that what you're getting is high value, it is creative, reduces burnout on our part, and makes sure that once again, journalists meet the needs of their users. Data-driven insights with agentic AI, we can ensure that what we're using is not false. Majority of the setback of AI right now in our era, in our stage, in our consumption is that people are having the fear of false information. So we are not just going to rely on one AI site that says Magic News Box is the most read by 1,000 subscribers. No, we're going to look at data-driven insights. So we're giving what is true, what is real, and by AI helping us to monitor and address ethical concerns, we're seeing that AI is going to help us to receive feedback from our users. Most of the times for journalists, what I have seen is that the feedback is so much, it's so diverse that sifting through it is a lot and it's a tedious effort that no one quite wants to do. So AI is going to help us sift through. It's going to help us sift through everything that we're looking at. Also, multilingual reporting. Philip had earlier mentioned that most of the information you find on the internet today are in English. By AI, we can get information that is in your language and not just a watered down, converted English version of it. So we're getting things in our language, things original, made for us, made personalized for your users, and that is an advantage, or that is the way AI makes journalism sustainable. You can be assured that you're getting something that resonates within you. It is in your language, and you can get it to resonate within you. And now another thing I want us to mention is AI for news reporters and AI for readers. Philip had earlier mentioned for a part for AI for newsrooms. Now I'm going to say AI for news reporters. We have noticed that reporters have a lot of burnouts due to the materials they have to read, fact checks they have to make. So sustainability is making sure that it meets our needs, not just on both ends, both for the reporters and for the readers. So as it's meeting your need as a reporter of helping you sift through information, making it suited for the demographic you're looking at. A lot of people say, oh, they don't understand Gen Z lingo. AI helps you to understand Gen Z lingo and even helps you to present news to them in Gen Z lingo. So it doesn't just fly over their heads. No, it is going to help you in a marginal way and more effective way to meet their needs. So it is meeting your need in helping you to know what your users want, and it is helping your readers also to help them so that they don't just have to go through the ocean of diverse and varied information on the internet to get their information. So now we have the word changing the workflow for but retaining human touch. When I thought about this sentence, I I had to see that the problem with that we're currently having with AI is that there is no human integration in AI. And it is a point for sustainability because if we say we should just go down the rabbit hole of just consuming information from here, information from there, fine, yes, we're meeting the user's need, but it is not personalized. You'll be meeting the need of a demographic, but not the need of a person, which is why in building sustainable AI, I suggest that every media company should have a research and development unit. That is a set of innovative activities undertaken to develop new services or products without having to yield immediate profit. We live in a capitalist world, so I believe we have to shift from making money to actually creating value. Sustainable AI is about creating value that works both for us now and for the future. So as we're retaining the human touch, we're ensuring that although we have a custom-made LLM is large language model, that although we have a custom-made LLM that supplies information or supplies the news to our readers, we can also make sure that this person has noted that they do not want to see news on a particular topic. It could be on the fiscal policy in Argentina. We're not going to bring it up or just slot it in one way or the other. We're going to retain that human touch so that we can make sure that although we're meeting the needs of our customers, we're also changing the workflow and we're making sure that it is more effective to meet their needs. Philip mentioned that he had um signed up to a site, done some work on the site, and then he deleted his account. But he noticed that his information was still retained by that site. So in law, we call that the right to be forgotten. Now, the right to be forgotten is a largely debated area of topic in law. It says that although you have your right to say you don't want to be a part of a platform anymore, although you don't want to be a part of a platform anymore, you also don't want your information to be retained by that platform. And it is a big deal right now because everybody is concerned about their data and about everything that has to do with their data. So it brings me to my next topic, which is journalism that thrives against regulation. I'm not going to talk about what regulation is, but I'm going to paint the picture that we have here in Africa that a government can wake up and create a regulation or a law that can totally cut everything or stall everything in the nation. But we know our African government, we know that laws tend to be made without any thought of the consequences of those laws. So we have situations of governments creating laws to crush media houses or even social media. This poses a problem because where you are caught short or where you are caught in the throat, there is no need for sustainability because you are not meeting any need and you cannot meet any future need. So this is another way that AI can come in to make sure that you remain alive. I remember when Nigeria cut the internet access to Twitter a few years ago, everyone had to resort to VPNs, which helped. So we're looking at innovation versus regulation. I have noticed that particularly for the African continent, we have innovation that is growing geometrically, and while regulation keeps crawling up, trying to meet up with it. We have governments creating sandboxes to try to make sense of the innovation that they do not clearly understand. Now, journalism is a way for us to understand a lot of things that happens in our country, a lot of things that happens in our continent, and even foreign ideas, foreign ideals. So in creating sustainable journalism, which will be sustained by AI, we have to make sure that there is a balance between innovation and any regulation that may come up in the twinkle of an eye. So, as I advised earlier, that every media company should have a research and development unit, I would also advise that every media company should have a trust and safety team. Now, why do I advocate for trust and safety? Trust and safety gives companies the foresight to make sure that regulations that may come up in the future do not and will not in any way kill the company or terminate its existence. So they have to get a team that is proactive and can make regulations to support the innovations that you make. You think like an African man, you think like your government, or what my government say today, what might it say tomorrow? Not necessarily adopting what has worked in other countries, simplicity. You do not adopt it mutandis mutandis. No, you look at it, it has worked, then you see how it can work here. I'm taking us back to my first quote that sustainable development is development that meets our needs and can meet the needs of the future. So we're not just saying to be a reckless attempt or a reckless bout of making sure that whatever we're doing now is very effective now. No, you also have to look at sustainability, your lifespan, ensuring that your lifespan. So at times it would be nice, you toe the line, you do not limit yourself, but rather you can predict. So agentic AI helps us to predict. You can predict what your government will say, what your readers would see. Because as Philip mentioned, what readers see in different demographics is different. What someone would see in China is different from what I would see in Nigeria or what I'll see in Mozambique. So I have to make sure that I have a team that is proactive and has foresight. Now, being proactive and hedging against limiting regulation is not just about avoiding constraints, it's about demonstrating leadership. You build trust, you demonstrate leadership, you show your readers that you are leading them aright. Because the way Africans are, the way the African culture, African leadership, there's usually a head that leads everybody. So you have to show that you're leading people aright. This is the path. The basics remain the basics, structures remain structures, and everything. You also have to build trust. You build trust, build credibility. I had earlier mentioned that you could do all this through agentic AI, and you set standards that will align innovation with societal values. Society is dynamic. Some things change, some things remain the same. So you should be able to have that foresight. And in building sustainability, rather than getting the burnout or going through a sinkhole of trying to have the foresight, AI is going to help both as a news reporter and as a reader. AI is going to help us have that foresight, and we are going to help AI by making sure that the data or whatever we're pruning out, whatever we're giving out is credible. It's not just a farce. So, because my topic is quite a topic that makes us think a lot, and I think by reading for this topic, I got confused a little bit. We're going to look at sustainability and regulation because we're seeing that everyone is now in this scramble race to make sure that they have AI, they have an AI act. Everyone is trying to show that they also have the power, the expertise to regulate AI and the likes. So now we're going to look at regulation. How well can we foresee regulation? Can it ever be done? Can we ever put our minds in the can we ever put ourselves in the minds of our leaders to think about what our leaders will say or what they will do? While I was preparing for this, I had to think about it, and I do not think that it can ever be done because let's face it, we're in Africa, we're Africans, and while we keep trying to see what our leaders will do, while we keep trying to keep trying to ensure viability, we have to make sure that we can adopt our differences and our peculiarities into the system or the sustainability we're trying to create. Once again, we have to ensure that while we're meeting our needs, we ensure the cycle continues to meet the needs of others. We're also going to look at data privacy. Now, data privacy is very different from data protection because data protection is more territory based. It is more territorial. It is wider than what data privacy is. Data privacy is more like a contract between two people or a platform and a person that says this is what you can do on my platform, this is what you cannot do on my platform. And data privacy builds street cred, makes things legit, builds credibility, gives the trust that we so much need or require from our systems. So journalists and creatives must find the fine line between staying relevant and flouting the rules. You have to stay relevant in making sure that I'm safe when I come to your platform, in making sure that even if I use your chat box, your LLM, my data is safe, you're complying with data privacy regulations and data protection regulations. But we also have to know that these regulations keep changing, they keep getting tweaked here and there. So we have to find that fine line between making sure that we are compliant and doing the work we have to do as journalists. So we're going to see that there is a fine line between staying relevant and becoming an avenue for thefts. Your chat box, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to create chat box for their websites and the rest. The chat box you're going to create, it has to be such that ensures data and respects data privacy. Not the one that I can type a prompt on it and I'm seeing everything that was inputted into the chat box to make you functional. No, there are rules for that, and these rules are multifaceted. So where journalists choose to invest in AI and getting an LLM to make sure that they sustain themselves, they extend the life cycle so far as to meet the new needs of the future, they must also invest in cybersecurity. So sustainability, as I have mentioned or as we have discussed now, is getting three corners or three dimensions. We're going to have the dimension of research and development. That is to make sure that whatever AI we're adopting or developing meets our needs and is capable of meeting the needs of the future. We're also looking at it on the part of policy, that trust and safety teams are proactive. And while they are meeting our needs, they're thinking, they're having that foresight to make sure that the needs of the future is not compromised, it is predictive. And the AI, rather than eliminating us, is now helping us have the right information, the right stories on track, and now cybersecurity to help us have safety, have that trust that we need, and also have that guard that we need around our systems. That even though we might have had a little loophole in our foresight, we can still see that what we have created, what we have thought about, what we have been able to predict, where there is any regulation that comes in to cut it or nick it in right in its track, cybersecurity is there. Whatever information has been given to us remains safe, remains secure, and we can see it. So it is of no use trying to stay relevant while your house is unsafe. Newsrooms, creatives, you have to make sure that when you are employing AI, when you want to use AI, you invest in cybersecurity. It is of no use if I can't go to your platform and trust that if I click on accept no cookies or decline cookies, it's really going to decline cookies and not just spam my information for engagement or just give me unsafe news. No, you have to make sure that you're embracing cybersecurity and ensuring cybersecurity. As I usually say, it is better to have a narrowed down set of people who would consume your work and do so safely than to cater to the world with open windows for thieves and robbers. So ensuring data privacy, data protection. You're going to cater to a lot of roles, a lot of jurisdictions, and you have to make sure that your safety, your trust and safety team finds the meeting ground. You're ensuring safety, ensuring protection, because there is no sustainability if people can't trust you. There's no sustainability. People can't come to you and they are sure that whatever I'm getting from you is valuable and it is credible. So media places, in addition to having cybersecurity, you must also have private data privacy contracts in place, especially with regard to AI. As I've said here, you have to respect data protection laws. The case of Nigeria banning Twitter comes into focus. When Nigeria banned Twitter back then a couple of years ago, we saw that a lot of people just went straight to VPNs. We're using the VPNs for countries like France, Western countries majorly. And then it put a lot of people in trouble because they were not respecting data privacy laws of those countries. And then there was nothing on the Twitter platform also to say that these are the laws you would abide by. This is that. So if there were a news platform that could tell us this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, I feel a lot of people would have been safer on those platforms. And then you must be certain that your progressive, predictive, AI majored website is not employed to steal data. Philip mentioned that he had an issue with a site that he used that just had his data and kept it without him having a right to delete his data. No, you should have the right to be forgotten. I know that a lot of data protection regulation says that you should have a server and keep the data you are giving for a minimum of 4 years. I think 4 years is the minimum across Nigeria. I stand to be corrected. So you have to make sure that your users are aware of this from the start so that they will know if they want to toe the line or if they don't want to. You shouldn't just be giving unsafe or false forged information. That shouldn't be the goal of your progressive AI inclusive website. That is not the goal of AI. You have to retain the human touch in artificial intelligence, and that is what will make it, and that is what will make your AI platform sustainable. That is what will keep it in place. Finally, we'll consider the role of Afrocentric innovation in addressing global challenges through AI-driven journalism. AI-driven journalism can support the Afrocentric narrative by first thing is changing the narrative. With everything Philip said about Afrofeminism, I never knew that Afrofeminism could be linked to AI. I just thought it was the same old feminist fight. But now we have AI to help alter or rather change the narrative that we have. We have AI to help us use natural language processing, which will be tailored to African dialects, enhancing inclusivity in storytelling. This will lead the world because we still have the Aboriginals fighting and arguing that all they have, it's not inclusive. They don't have it in their language. They're feeling oppressed. Africa can lead the fight against oppression. We also have AI, or we can also develop AI tools to uncover and amplify underrepresented underrepresented perspectives, challenge global stereotypes, and foster more equitable media landscape. Our part to play goes beyond integrating AI. We have to integrate AI and address challenges so that it would not just be a temporary wave. It is going to help us meet our needs, help our use, while having the background, which would of course be developed, having the background to help the future. So, in conclusion, I leave you with these parting words. There is human somewhere in artificial intelligence. It is not made to rule you, but to help you. Help AI, help AI help you equals helping AI help the world. Everyone has a part to play. If you're integrating AI for your website, if you're integrating AI for your newsroom, for your news reporters, you have to make sure that you are not leaving it completely to AI. That is the sustainability in AI. You have to make sure you're not leaving it completely to AI. It still has the element of human oversight there. So as you keep working on it, as you keep improving it, you have the element of human because there is human somewhere in Africa, in artificial intelligence, and Africa is human. Thank you very much.